for joining us on this podcast. Just to give you a bit of a background as to why we've decided to do this initiative. You may or may not know that it is the Reskilling and Upskilling Year by Hydrogen Europe. So we thought it was quite a good idea to talk to pioneers in the sector and see how you got to where you are today, the challenges you faced, and what sort of advice you'd give to people joining the industry or furthering their career in kind of clean energy, renewables, anything to tackle climate change. So first off, talk us through your career to date and how you ended up here in front of me today.
Okay, thank you, Brian. First of all, thank you for inviting me to the session. So yeah, I joined the industry by the beginning of the century, 2001, starting on the industrial site in Portollano, very much linked to the production of fuels and petrochemicals, and very much almost involved in energy efficiency projects, which at that time was the link to sustainability. And afterwards, I moved to the technology division, and I moved deeper on these projects related to reduction of emissions and starting to get involved in the new products, these renewable products, renewable fuels, and so on, and related activities. And since the last few years, I moved to create a hydrogen division at Repsol. So that was the first movement to create a new business specifically related to this new world. And since a year and a half, I add to the hydrogen also the renewable fuels and circular economy. So I will say that I've been in the energy sector for the last 24 years, but since the very beginning, very much related to the sustainability footprint of the energy, I will say somehow, first starting with energy efficiency and now with the renewable products.
Okay, perfect. And so I know you obviously chemical engineering backgrounds. You started your career as a kind of steam operations engineer, steam cracker operation. So what drives you today to be in our sector?
Well, my case was almost a very straightforward case because my father was involved in the initial exploration of oil and gas in his motherland in Equatorial Guinea. So I grew up with a sample of crude oil at home. So in a lot of related to that. So it was almost there for me since I was a child. I was very curious about the information, and I started reading about it. And I will say that also, I grew up part of my childhood in Equatorial Guinea, which is a country that at that time, before the oil production, was a country with a very low income in the GDP perspective. And I realized the relevance of energy in the welfare and the quality of life of people. So it was something that it was a kind of curiosity, and joined it with also responsibility or accountability regarding that the understanding that energy makes a huge difference in the quality of life of people.
Yeah, definitely. So as you said, obviously you've had a long-standing career, about 24 years in the energy industry. So I'm sure you probably faced many of challenges, but what were kind of your main challenges and how did you navigate them?
Well, I would say I have, of course, 24 years is a while, and I've been in even since operations, technology, business, different areas. But I think that if I choose one challenge, I would say the most important thing that I found in these years is the people management. At the end of the day, the difference in this business is made by the people, and being able to choose and select and hire the right people and help them grow up and provide them the right challenges and the right support at the same time is the key difference to being success in deploying your purpose. I would say even more than having a clear vision, which is important, or even I would say the energy to push ahead. So my main successes or main memories regarding things are more related to people management, I would say, as of today, even than projects that I have been running a while, and probably with different results in all of it.
Yeah, definitely. So I can definitely relate to that. Obviously, people being my day in, day out, placing people in the hydrogen industry, making sure that people aren't just going into positions because they want to be in the clean energy industry. You've got to make sure it matches where they want to be. Obviously, passion is key in our industry. So they have to be passionate about the company, the technology, the vision, and then obviously when you have the right people in the right places, everything can kind of come together quite naturally, as well as being able to kind of push it. So in terms of whether you say this for yourself or for Repsol, what are your biggest achievements today in relation to fighting climate change?
Well, I would say that not only for Repsol, but also for the energy sector, I would say the main challenge, the main achievements that have been done, I would say, since the perspective of the energy transition, I think there are two success stories. One is the biofuels production. So I would say that converting residues into energy was something that we used to see on the movies some decades from now, and it's all a reality today. So it is something that is already happening. And the other one is the deployment of the renewable power generation system. I think also it's a great success story. We started this like 25 years ago, and now it's even more competitive than conventional production in some locations. So I think these are the two main achievements that have been done, and probably the one to come is the production of synthetic fuels that I think they will complete the solutions that we need to meet the goals of climate change.
Perfect. So thinking retrospectively, take yourself back to the chemical engineering graduate. If you could give yourself 3 key pieces of advice at the start of your career, what would you give?
Well, if I have to choose only 3, probably a bit more, but 3, I would say that probably focusing more on people. I will try to understand better people behaviors and people's feelings and willings. The other one be pretty more meaningful with technology. So I think this is something that has been very important in my life, but probably I could even do it more or earlier. And third will be regulation, which is something that I didn't realize until the last years of my life. Probably understanding the regulations provides you better understanding of how things are going to evolve, and what are the new opportunities to come, on how you can modify your roadmap to meet to have the better chance to create a new business.
Perfect. And what piece of advice would you give someone starting their career or transitioning into clean energy?
Well, in addition to my own, for the same advices that I give to myself, so if I go backwards 20 years, I will give them the same for them. I would say that being curious is critical today, and being conscious. I think this is the 2 ideas that I will suggest them, because innovation and sustainability are probably the 2 main pathways through which you can create and you can make a difference in the world. So being curious and being conscious are the 2 things that I will suggest them. Of course, of taking this advantage of being curious to learn, and to being conscious to try to be meaningful and try to understand the impact of what you are doing in this space of the energy transition, which is critical for everybody in the world.
Amazing. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having you on. Your insight is incredibly valuable to those within the industry, so really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Brogan. Good to see you.